Good afternoon, everybody. Toolbox Tuesday update on a Wednesday, just cause. Got a few extra things in the toolbox this week. Nothing really special, but had a few projects coming up and situations that I ran into again where I've needed a better tool to do it. I've got to the point now where I'm sick of struggling trying to make do with what I have, and I'd rather spend a little bit more extra money and get tools that are proper for doing the job, especially if it's something I can see myself doing more than once. So first off, I'll start on the outside of the toolbox here. I got this magnetic screwdriver holder. I picked up a set of Bergen Torx, but these are the longer Torx. So they're about, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches longer than a standard Torx screwdriver that I have. There's a couple situations and spots in the Jeep within the engine compartment where these are going to come in really handy. And I also have to change out a part on one of the light bars on one of the units at work. We do some of our own little, tinkering projects because, some of the guys that I work with, we're pretty handy. So have to change out a piece. We had a bird strike one of the light bars and broke some of the plastic. And I made do with the screwdriver that I had, but I almost stripped out the screw just because of the curve of the body on the front of the ambulance. I can't get on it straight with a regular length screwdriver. So having these ones will be handy. They're only about like $30. Stored them off Amazon. I have a couple other Bergen things, and I've been pretty happy with them, and the price is right. And I have some longer Phillips and standard like flathead screwdrivers coming too, just for the smaller head ones, but the longer, because there's a couple situations I've seen where it'd be really handy to have. I'm not sure if I'm going to get another one of these holders. I'll just put the other ones in these empty slots and just go the other way around, but we'll see. Up here, I picked up a set or a pair of spark plug boot pliers. When I was working on the boot or the spark plugs on my truck last summer, I was having to use a pair of pliers to take them off, and I was very, trying not to break the boots off and break the plugs off. So I'm gonna have to do them on my Jeep pretty soon. So I figured those were on sale. I'd pick them up. Something else that I grabbed. I picked up some organizers for my nut drivers. These are all just in a big like Tupperware container before, so organized those a bit more, and then I just took some of the ones that were in these black ones and put them in here. It's a little bit more organized. And what I'm going to do is I might take some of those and throw them in my truck toolbox, just so I have a few extra screwdriver bits, because there's a few sizes that I don't have for Torx in that little kit that I have in the truck. So haven't decided yet, but I like how it's cleaned up the organization quite a bit more. Something else that's changed. Again, projects coming up. I think I have an O2 sensor going south in my truck. So I ordered Tecton Spark or O2 sensor sockets. I got one of each, as I'm not sure which is going to be the best one to use. So pick those up. I just threw them in the back there. This one won't stand up in this drawer, so that's why it's laying down. But those will be fine, and I don't need a special snap-on or anything like that for doing that. Tecton will be just just fine for that. So. Really the only other thing that changed and for tools for new purchases, I guess I got some new pry bars. I'm not sure if I mentioned these. These are tire pry bars. I got those because I'm going to be mounting my own tires on my beadlock, so those will be in handy. Those are like tire spoons. But in my first video, I'd mentioned that I wanted to get some pry bars with striking caps. And I was in Princess Auto the other day picking them apart from my boat trailer, and happened to be walking by, and they had these regular like 60 on for $20, and they have the striking caps on them. So I picked those up, and I put some of the older ones that I have are going to go into the Jeep, and I might throw one in the truck, because they're still good as a pry bar. But I'm glad I got some with striking caps that can hit a little bit better. So that's that. Another thing I got, I guess that was really it for new tools, but I did do some moving around. I'm just gonna grab my stool here. So I'm always kind of playing around with the organization of where I want to put things, and putting stuff where the things I'm going to be needing most, I kind of put them up higher. So what I did was I used to have my diagnostic stuff in this drawer and my electrical repair in this drawer, and I kind of like the idea of having them all together. So what I've done is I took the pipe wrenches that were in that other toolbox, that was the one that had half the drawer, I put them in here. Because this one actually just fits, and I Shouldn't need any more pipe wrenches. So again, I got a bigger one because there's a couple of things that this one wasn't big enough to fit. So I like the rubber grip on this. And then this is for it's called a basin wrench. It's for the, underneath the counter in my kitchen. So move those there. And then what I did was I moved my adjustable wrenches into here. And I guess actually this one here is a new one. I had to change the ball on my hitch because the part that I was going to Princess Auto for the other day is I got a new receiver piece or tongue piece for the boat trailer. We're changing from an 1 7/8" ball to up to a 2-inch. So that way all our trailers are 2-inch. We're not always having to change the balls all the time. And between me and my dad, I mean. And so this one here barely fit, like just was able to fit that nut. So, and I know that there's something I'm going to have to help my dad with on his skid steer coming up probably this fall that I'm probably going to need a bigger adjustable wrench for anyway. So this one I found at Peavey Mart was like $25. That'll do the trick. So now I've got like I think that's the 15-inch and the 10-inch or whatever. I got them flipped around the other way. So threw those in here because yes, there's still some times where I use a adjustable wrench, but I don't use them that much that I need them in a higher drawer anymore. So I put those in there. So what I've done now is, also something else I did was I always liked having this tray that my Mac stuff was in. So I just threw that back in there to kind of keep it organized a bit better, as I didn't like how they were always rolling around. So what I've done now is this top drawer in this old Snap-on cabinet, this is now all the electrical. So all my diagnostic stuff's in the front, my repair stuff's in the back. The diagnostic stuff, my test light and whatnot came in really handy because I was finally able to diagnose why I was having a faulty signal light on the boat the other day and soldered the wire up, fixed it all up. So now it's better. Now I have all the working lights. So that's now that drawer. And then what I've done is I just moved my welding claps down. I still want to try and get this drawer working a bit better, but some of them are out right now because I've been doing some welding for the Jeep. So I got some on the bench right now, so that's now the welding drawer, and then this one was the half-empty drawer. Now this is full of the wood clamps. So now I really don't have any spare room in this toolbox. Got a little bit of room in the bottom here. This is, like I said, I had the sanding block, so I got a flatboard hand sander. That's a one for doing water sanding, and this is the regular sanding block. This is stuff that's hook and groove sanding stuff for like a sander, DA sander. I said Orbital before, but like a DA sander. Then like my grease gun, I got the nipples that kind of go on the end of it so you can puncture through those rubber seals. Threw my hacksaw down here because I was sick of pulling it out of that little yellow toolbox that I had, and I was having to lift the drawer and all that, so it's a little easier to get to here. I was using it the other day to cut some plastic pipe. And then those are my tap and dies, and this was just the Peavey Mart one I had, but it only has standard threads. So when I was at Canadian Tire earlier this spring, this one was like regular 140 and it was on for $60 or $64 or something. So, and it's got standard and metric. So I picked it up just because the price was so good, and I know there's going to be a day when I'm going to need the metric threads. So that was basically what I've changed. So now in the future, like I could do a little bit more moving around if I have to, but this toolbox is pretty much full now. So if I need more room in the future, and really the only thing I'm going to be getting is maybe more specialty tools. I can either bring my old top and put it back on here, or I may look at buying a bigger one because those tool tops I have they're about the same width, but they're not as deep. That was one thing I found not only when I went with my old toolbox versus this one. Not only did I double the drawers, but I also doubled the depth. So in a way, I almost tripled the doors or quadrupled the doors. I don't do math on Wednesdays, but a lot more space just because of the depths of the drawer too, and not only with the number of drawers. So I might look at getting another one of those, maybe with fewer drawers, maybe some more deeper drawers, and putting it on that. We'll see. Like I said, my dad does have the top for this one that I wouldn't mind getting someday to kind of get the matching set again, but there I can still do some moving around in some of these other drawers. I like having everything kind of spread out so that way it's easier for me to find things. Like with even just like say with the socket drawer, like I pull that out and I can see everything that I have, and everything's laid out. It's easy for me to find. I'm not having to move around too much stuff. Same thing with my wrenches. Like I have wrenches in 3 drawers, but this way, the way they're laid out, I can find every wrench that I'm looking for. Oh, and speaking of wrenches, I'd mentioned in my last video that I was going to be showing you that new 21 millimeter wrench that I got. I think I got scammed on Amazon because it's never showed up and I can't find the buyer or the seller. So I know that happens sometimes. I think that's like the first time it's happened to me, and I've bought quite a bit of stuff on Amazon. So I just gotta be a bit more careful. Sometimes, you know, when you see such a good deal on a wrench, it's probably for a reason. So buyer beware. But anyway, right now I'm just kind of emptying out the truck from my trip on the weekend. I was at the lake with my daughter and ended up getting the flu. So I've been kind of haven't had the energy to put that back together or pull everything out and, you know, put it away. So that's gonna be the rest of my afternoon. A new truss showed up for the Jeep for the back. It's in the back of the truck there. So I'm thinking this weekend I might weld that on, or at least tack it on anyway. Maybe get a guy who's better at welding than I am to finish welding it up. And the rims I will have on Tuesday. So next week I can be mounting my bead locks. And my buddy is almost done my front axle. So then hopefully I can get this one out to him and get that other one changed out. And now that he's done the front one, it should be a lot quicker to do this one because he'll have it down pat. So, and I also have my new spare mounted on the back. So I had to do a little tweaking on these fuel cans. I'm going to try and, my dad's got a spreader I'm going to go borrow to spread them out a little bit because right now it's contacting the tire. But this tire carrier is rated for a 37, but I had a heck of a time getting that thing on there. It was pretty heavy. So that was a spare I picked up for $100. Had to put a patch in it for $100, so that's like almost a $500 tire. So that's, you know, it's got lots of tread left, so be perfect for my spare. Anyway, everybody have a good day, and keep posting those toolbox tour videos and update videos. I really enjoy watching them. Take care.